Welcome to this edition of Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle. We're a couple months away from summer, and many people decide at this point to do a shred for summer or some other activity, beach body. So during the summer, if they're wearing shorts or swimsuit, they might feel more comfortable, having lost some weight and increase some muscle. There's a lot of influencers on the internet who promote specific exercise, diet regimen. However, most of them aren't very old. As a senior, I have a tendency to look towards some older folks who seem to be in good health and how they seem to have done that. Of course, a lot of it depends on genetics, what you inherited from your mother and your father. In my case, my father died at 57, my mother at 96. So I am kind of pushing that I hope I got the genetics from my mother. So one celebrity that I kind of look to, there's two actually. First, it would be Tom Brady. How could he maintain this extraordinarily high level of fitness and able to compete in professional football into his 40s? And even now you'll see him doing videos where he still seems to be in incredibly good shape in his mid 40s or middle age. The other one is William Shatner, who in his mid 90s seems to be thriving. So what does he do? He seems to follow a Mediterranean type diet. He exercises frequently, cycling, yoga, weightlifting, horseback riding. Interesting, he rides horses for a couple hours a week, and a couple hours a day. Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. And does these other dimensions of mindfulness, adequate sleep, self-reflection, meditation, other things like that. So I'm entering my last 2 decades of presumed life. I'm going to work on some of these things myself, in addition to my powerlifting regimen, adding a little more flexibility, yoga type activity, and working on dimensions of self-care. I am not the kind of person who really enjoys activities like yoga or meditating, but if it's missing, that's something I'm going to add. And then reflect on my diet. Cut out things that I think are harmful, and maybe add some stuff like vegetables that I don't really care for. So today I'm going to do some activities that I would consider accessory resistance training and cardiovascular exercise to round out my powerlifting regimen. Maybe a review for some of you. There's basically 5 dimensions of movement, and for my warm-up, I'll work through these. Taking a band, we have a pull. I'm doing this underhand row. You want to concentrate on bringing your shoulder blades down and together. And about 10 repetitions, and then a variation on this would be a high pull, where I put the band up higher. I'm going to pull this towards my face. And this one, I'm not letting my arms fully extend, because the main benefit is keeping my elbows at about this close to 90 degree and pulling backwards. Again, working up on my upper back, rear deltoids. And the second fundamental movement is a push. So just turning around, using the same band, warming up my chest. third fundamental movement is an overhead press. So we can take a band. This is too strong a band to do two at one. So just pressing overhead. And we can switch arms. And the fourth fundamental movement is like a lifting from the floor in a row. You can add a knee bend in here. The last fundamental movement is one-sided, which is classic walking or these one-sided balance exercises. You can add like an ankle rotation while we're just warming up. Balance is an important activity. You can make it more dynamic by doing lunges. When I'm warming up, I just do partial range of motion. In many of my videos, I mention doing some abdominal or core work, but often don't demonstrate those. So this video, I'm going to go through a routine I do 2-3 times a week of the core abdominal muscles. Are like any muscle that if you overtrain them, they don't have a chance to recover and get stronger. So you do need a rest period, usually 48 hours or so between each session. Again, if you are just sort of in the toning mode, you can do these every day, but often they don't get stronger. Again, it has benefits like cardiovascular benefits and maybe burning some calories, but to get actually stronger, maintaining that core or increasing it, or if you're doing heavy lifts, you want to give them a period of rest. So I go through this routine, grab a weight, dumbbell, kettlebell, or whatever, to add a little bit of extra resistance. This is a progression. Let me first demonstrate these without the weight. So I like to do these on this platform, which is similar to, let's say, an ottoman you might have in your home. You can do most of them, actually all of them, on the floor. What I like is, because I'm elevated, I get a little bit of increased range of motion in my hips, which I think strengthens the muscles that control hip flexion and extension, as well as the core. So to protect your back, you can start off with your hands underneath your sacrum in that sort of a diamond shape. As you get stronger, and by using good technique, just pushing your lower back into the floor, the mat, or the platform, to protect your back, you can put your hands up and use them for other things. Okay, so starting off, doing some flutter kicks. And again, I like to go a little bit below horizontal, keeping my core engaged, pressing my lower back into the mat. Do about 10 repetitions and then go out and in. I like to flex my ankles out and point my toes on the in. Next, I'm going to do a knee, a leg extension to flexion and a crunch of my upper body. I like to do these with my hands across my chest. Some people might do them behind your neck or in front of your forehead. Any of those are fine. You want to avoid pulling on your head, which can injure your neck. So I like across the chest. Then from this position, I go into a Russian twist with my knees up, hips flexed, rotate side to side. And to finish this off, go to a bicycle. You can take a hand and punch it out. And I finish off with a leg lift. Again, you can put your hands under your sacrum to protect your lower back. So take a little rest. Check your exertion level and get a drink of water, and we'll come back with a progression where we use the weight. Okay. For this, I grabbed a medicine ball that has handles. This to me is the Cadillac devices for this, although kettlebell, dumbbell, just about anything would work. Having the weight adds a progression, making it a little more difficult. Since I do these 6 exercises back to back, consider this really to be not only resistance training, but also an action interval. It's got some cardiovascular benefit. Usually after I complete a set, I'll take a couple minutes to recover. So going through that same routine with the weight, again, very important to press your lower back into the support. Maintain good, tight control in your core, in your upper body. Breathe. Let's go through this. Okay. Starting off, I brought my shoulders up a little bit, holding the weight over my chest. Doing my flutter kicks. Moving to in and outs. Then at least chest and bringing my upper body to meet the knees. From here, Russian twist. Bicycle. And back, weight over chest and leg lifts. Take a little break, recover, and come right back. Grab the resistance band. I'm going to do some bent row. So step on the band, lean forward. Remember to keep your spine neutral and lift just to where your elbows come up to the same level as the shoulders. Contract your shoulder blades together at the top. Now we do a reverse row in this bent position. Remember to engage your core the whole time. I'm going to reposition to do a lat pull. You can do these either bent so I put the band about head high, bend at the waist, arms up to like parallel to the floor. Again, controlled movements. Bring your shoulder blades down and together as you bring your hands toward your shoulders. The progression for these lat pulls is to move into a pull-up. Pull-up is a very challenging exercise. It's very beneficial in that it increases strength in the shoulders, chest, core, and back. However, particularly for people starting off or seniors, there's several modifications to make it a challenging but exercise that you can complete. Just doing a straight pull-up has a fairly high risk of injury unless you've progressed to that point. So starting off, if you have access to a assisted pull-up machine, this is a good place to start. It has a weight rack where you put the pin in, which subtracts amount of weight from what you have to lift. It's basically having you lift a lighter weight. You put your knees on this pad, you grab the bars overhead and contract your core. Remember to bring your shoulder blades down and together. To think about pulling the bar down towards you, which will lift your body up. Forgot to mention that pull-up also strengthens your grip, your forearms, biceps, and triceps. So quite a functional exercise. If you don't have access to a pull-up assisted machine, you can do a band pull-up assist. Got a couple bands here. I have this rack available where I've got a high bar. I can attach a band to that. And we'll try this. So I've got the stretchy resistant band attached to the top, loop down here. If you've looked in the internet, there's a lot of videos of people doing it this way. and the band slips off their foot, snaps up between their legs. It's quite uncomfortable. So I chose this machine, or this support, because I can take these safety bars off and put a band around those, which puts I'll step on it and do some pull-ups in this position. Grab the bar overhead with a nice tight grip, step on the band, and see if I'll give it a little bit of support. In addition, before trying to full pull-up, you can just do a straight arm hang, strengthen and stretch out the shoulders, and progress that to a bent arm hang. To get a little more support, I can raise the platforms. We'll try first a bent arm hang. And then some pull-ups. I find doing the 3 big power lifts twice a week or so exercises a lot of my body. So on these accessory workout days, just trying to work a little bit on like my shoulders, some like upper pressing or these pulling activities, core like we demonstrated earlier. I find that particularly with deadlift that I do a lot of exercise for my posterior chain and back extensors, so I don't want to overdo those. Adding things like curls, tricep presses, pretty similar to what you're going to experience doing bench presses. So don't do a lot, maybe some modest weights. Do some stretching, some zone 2 cardio, like a nice walk or a bike ride, and recover and head into the new week with enthusiasm and energy. Hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.